Well, hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you for Arcadia Economics. And today, fortunate to get a quick update on the silver situation in Peru, where, as many of you have heard and some have emailed or commented, socialist Pedro Castillo claims victory ahead of official result. Here are some of the headlines, although fortunately, David Stein, who runs Kuya Silver, which is active in Brazil, so is directly affected by what's going on, joining me today. David, welcome on in. Great to have you here. And what's going on in Peru? And can you dig into how it's going to affect silver and what people should know?
Sure, Chris. So, it looks like Pedro Castillo won the election. There was some controversy over the votes, and there was a pretty careful, I guess, recount going on this past week. The actual election itself was back on June 6th. So here we are, quite some time later. But anyway, all signs point to Castillo winning the election, so we're ready for that. He was leading in the polls pretty much the entire campaign, so we're not surprised. I don't think the market should be that surprised with that. And look, I think moving forward, he's got a very difficult job to bring the country and the Congress together, which is very divided with a lot of different factions. And so we feel like we'll be okay. Obviously, there's always risks with the new government, and to see how that shakes out. But the Peruvian political system is very spread out amongst a lot of different parties and opinions, and so what that tends to mean is that it actually gives you some stability, because there's never any agreement. There's never enough agreement on one side or the other to actually get anything done. So I'm cautiously optimistic that we'll be able to move forward here with the same kind of positive environment that we've had in Peru for the past 4 years.
Yeah, well, I guess that is perhaps the greatest hedge one could have for any business situation, as long as politicians can't agree. If you're in good shape, then you're probably in good shape. Although, David, again, just specific to the mining sector, has there been any commentary on any change in rules? And perhaps you could also update us what things have been like the last couple of years, and if there is any change from that.
Well, if you go back to the earlier part of the campaign, where Pedro Castillo came out of the first round of election of the presidential election, where the top two candidates get to move on to a final round, he was saying a lot of very kind of strong leftist things about taking greater control with the mining industry. The campaign went on, he essentially started walking that back. And you can see that there's a move towards the center in order to be a bit more inclusive with the general public. I mean, Peru is mining industry is huge in Peru. There's obviously there's room for improvement in terms of how the mining industry operates there, but I think in general, you can't do anything to damage the industry at large in Peru, because then you're talking about literally hundreds of thousands of jobs would be at stake. And so, to the extent they want to tinker with anything in the mining industry, I would say they could do something that might target some of the bigger mines, like they have giant copper mines and some very big gold mines in Peru in particular. Those might be, again, if they want to win political points, they might try and go after those guys. But I think Bethania, our project, is one of 1,000 sort of smaller and medium-sized mines in the country, and I don't think they can afford to do anything that would harm the whole industry.
Well, I appreciate that, David. And before we let you run, perhaps could you let folks know what's the best way to contact you? So whether they have questions about the mining situation or how that specifically impacts the Kuya situation, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Yeah, we're happy to talk about this and anything else related to Kuya. So we've got it on our website there. You can contact us, and management will follow up with you. And then you can also book meetings with us online as well. So start on our website, kuyasilver.com. That's the best way to go.
Well, I appreciate that. KuyaSilver.com. And David, thanks again for shedding some light on the Peruvian situation. While we witness hyperinflation in the US, Canada, and around the globe, and we'll look forward to checking back in with you soon.